What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Good Game Reviews. Here to do another game review. Week 11, Patriots at Eagles. Final score 17-10. Um, Going back to my prediction, I expected a lot more points. I think I said something around 35-20 or something like that. Um, yeah, nah. Yeah, this was a very low scoring game. I guess if I would have looked at it a little bit better, it probably would have been a little more predictable. Um, Eagles were missing their best running back, their best wide receiver, um, their one of their best linemen was nicked up, left on the third drive. I think it was Lane Johnson who left for like on the third drive and he was out. And then they lost Peters like near the end of the game, so it was not easy for the Eagles O line, but yeah, it's a lot of just it was just a tough game to watch overall. Just as far as like the offense goes. Now, if you're a fan of defense, then cool, this was the game for you. But if you wanted to see some explosive offense plays, besides the trick play with Edelman, I mean that was pretty like much the most exciting part of the game. But anyway, let's just get into like the good stuff. I'll get into the bad stuff later, but yeah, as far as good, Tom Brady, 26 of this isn't even really good to be honest, because Tom Brady he goes 26 for 47, 216 yards, only averaged 4.6, and had zero touchdowns. He had zero interceptions, but he also had zero touchdowns. It just wasn't his night. Um, to make matters worse, you lose Philip Dorsett after his touchdown, and pretty much that's like your only source of speed, and that's gone. So now you're dependent on Mohamed Sanu, and you still have Julian Edelman, but he's being double covered like just throughout the game because they do not want him to get open, especially on third down. It was you saw him going to guys like uh, Ben Watson at times. He went to N'Keal Harry on the third down. He converted that one, but N'Keal Harry was only targeted about four times throughout that whole game. He caught three, but I mean he wasn't as big of a factor as I would have thought. Only getting 18 yards. So yeah, but just the offensive struggle throughout the whole game. Like I said, the only touchdown, at least on the Patriots side of the ball, came from Julian Edelman throwing a touchdown to Philip Dorsett. But pretty much after that, it was just punts, 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 punts. Not a lot to go on. Julian Edelman, he had 10 targets, 5 receptions, 53 yards. He averaged 10.6. Had a long of 14, but you go down his list and just not a lot of things to go by as far as like the receivers. It's one thing that I can say that will look different. It has to be this offense, and the only reason I say that is because next week you get Isaiah Wynn back, so you get the guy that you wanted at the beginning of the season to protect Brady's blind side, give him some more time in the pocket because he had no time, absolutely no time in the pocket. Just throwing to the ground, throwing over receivers. One point he's throwing off his back foot, almost picked twice through that game. So it did not look good. I mean, Newhouse is just awful. He is just truly awful. He did about as good as I expected him to do in this game, which is not saying much. Um, as far as the defense goes, that's the bright spot of this game. If you wanted a bright spot of this game, you could take it from the defense. 5 total sacks through this game, so wonderful job. You even had the forced fumble by Danny Shelton. which kind of gave the Patriots a little momentum at that in that moment. They didn't, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you want something to look at, just look at the defense. If that's the only thing you want to pay attention to from this game, then I mean, yeah. Um, Van Noy had him a sack. Hightower had him a sack. Roberts had a sack. Adam Butler had a sack. It was a nice day for the defense. I'll say that. Very refreshing. Especially if you look at that week 9 matchup against the Baltimore Ravens, where they couldn't get anything close to this. So I don't know if that just speaks to the strength of the Ravens offensive line or their game plan, or you know, but yeah, the defense picked it up. This was definitely their comeback week. Not the offense, but the defense. As far as special teams goes, only thing I can really point to is kicking and punting. Surprisingly, Nick Folk has not been a liability. He has not been the reason that this team has lost, because came to the team, he hasn't missed a field goal. He's 5 for 5. He he has not missed a field goal. Granted, they're not any like long field goals or anything, but Nick Folk is known for just missing field goals, and to see him not miss any field goal, um, it's a welcoming sight. He also made his extra point. He only had one extra point to make. He made that. So yeah, it's welcome in sight. Um, I'm always gonna have my fingers crossed when Nick Folk goes out there to kick, but so far he's done a really really good job. Um, Punting. Now, if there had to been an MVP for the Patriots, it has to be Jake Bailey. Jake Bailey was the best player on the field last night. If he would have recovered that fumble, um, when the returner on the Eagles muffed the ball, if he would have jumped on that and recovered it, no question, he's the MVP. But just his performance alone just proves that this guy is a steal. He is a steal, and I am glad that we have him on our team. 8 total punts, averaged 46 yards, had a net of 368, a long of 55, and he downed 6 inside the 20. He was phenomenal. He is one of the best punters in this league. This is his rookie season. He's great. I hope we can keep him for a while, cause this, I mean, oh my. Also, if you've been doing any Pro Bowl, like any like the little Pro Bowl voting stuff, um, definitely make sure you vote for this guy, because this guy's man, he's a bad guy, man. Um, but on to the bad. With any good, you're gonna have some bad, and it's pretty much the same thing, because I find myself repeating myself every week. And one thing that you know is always first on my list is protection issues. They can't keep Brady off the ground. He only got sacked once, but he was getting pressured throughout the whole game. The entire time, this dude, he had no time to throw the ball. He, it just seemed like he was confused. It seemed like he was scared at times, and that's not what you want Tom Brady to look like. You want him to be poised. You want him to have time. You want him to be confident in the pocket, and he's just not getting this right now. The offensive line is not playing to his strength. I mean, you can say yes, Newhouse is terrible, but look at the other sides of the line. I mean, Shaq Mason and Marcus Cannon. I mean, while they're not bad, I mean, they're nowhere near as good as they were last season. Could this be because the center's out? I mean, as much as we didn't expect much from Ted Karras. But so far, he's done a manageable job. He has been far from the worst thing on his offensive line. So if that's a surprise, then hey, take it. Um, but yeah, they have to get it together, and they also have to get Newhouse out of there. But with Isaiah Wynn coming back next week, we already know where that's headed. And also, you can look at the running game. Um, Once again, just couldn't get anything going on the ground. It's just, I think Sony Michelle had 3.3. He averaged 3.3 on the ground as far as rushing, which is what he's averaged throughout this whole season. I mean, throughout this season so far, it's 3.3. So just not a lot to go by as far as like the run game. And I guess you can look at this old line. Maybe when Isaiah Wynn comes back, just maybe this run game will look a little bit better, just a little bit better. But right now, it's not it's just very hard to watch, very hard to watch. Speaking of the running game, at the beginning of the game, I thought we were going to see uh, kind of another Baltimore Ravens situation where the Patriots just could not stop the run. It just seemed like they was just running all over them, and I'm just sitting there like, Jordan's not even out there. He's out. Sanders is out there. And no disrespect to Sanders. Sanders is a good back, but you're once again letting a team impose their will on you through the running game. Now, gladly they were able to clean that up through the rest of the game, but at the beginning it just looked like the just the same old can't stop the run, can't get off the field. Uh, but they only allowed 10 points, so I guess we can just let bygones be bygones, I guess. But that's pretty much all I have for this game. Um, a very hard game to watch, very stressful game to watch. Came down to the wire, um, and just on to the next week. This week is in the bag. They're sitting at a 9-1 record. So, I mean, hey, that's something to look at. They're tied for the best record in the league. Definitely the best record in the AFC. Still have the number one seed. And they're pretty much going to have to win all of their games from here on out, because it seems like the Ravens are right there at the end. If the Patriots fall at any point, the Ravens can easily take the number one spot. The number one seed. So something to look at. But next week, Patriots will face the Dallas Cowboys. But unlike the past two games, they will be at home. So that will be something to look forward to. Tune in next time. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave anything in the comment section. Whatever you want to say. I'm out.